My goodness, I think we've jumped on live pretty quickly again too. Things are really starting to speed up. Hello, good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are on this amazing planet. I'm Tim Cooper, and yet if you sort of have, if you're active, you might be very sporty or just have a very physically demanding job, or even running after kids is pretty physically demanding, right? If you're active and you get a bit sort of tired and sore through the muscles by the end of the day, this is a great essential oil for you to utilize. And as I said, working in sports, I've worked in sports for most of my professional career as a sports therapist. Makes sense, doesn't it? But as I was a pain specialist, so I specialised in pain and injury management, and this was one of my go-to oils because of the amazing support and benefits that it brings. Now, once again, if you find this information useful, please like, share, and comment below. And if you want to get your hands on some, like if you live in Australia, and you want to get your hands on some of these amazing oils to try out for yourself, then no, just contact me. So go to samples.pureessentials.store and request your free samples, okay? And I'll get in contact with you via messenger or email and work out what your primary health challenge is, and we can sort of work out what would be the best sample to send you for the best support possible, okay? So that's a free sample there for residents of Australia only. And the only reason why we make it Australia only is now because of all this funky stuff happening in the world. There's restrictions on shipping to certain countries, shipping liquids to certain countries. And so at this stage, we're only making these available to residents of Australia. So lucky Australia. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Let's see if I can find the magic button here. And it is wintergreen. And this is one of those aromas that will be very familiar to you, even if you weren't aware of it, because this is probably one of the base aromas for almost every single liniment, sports rub, and even when you go to the chemist drugstore and you get a cream or a lotion potion for tired, sore, achy muscles, for topical application, it is generally going to have wintergreen in it. Now the point is, is that in the majority of cases, when it comes to these commercially available products, is the wintergreen is actually created in a laboratory. In fact, I had a client. He was actually a scientist for a brewery, and he was on the table one day, and I was applying some wintergreen, and he said, "Oh yeah, wintergreen, yeah." That was one of the first things I made in the lab. When he was learning his trade, his profession. So once again, it comes down to a lot of people don't understand that a lot of the stuff that is available in these over-the-counter options, these commercially produced, mass-produced products, is basically synthesized versions of what happens naturally in nature. But the point is that what they do is actually take what we call the active ingredient. So they isolate what they believe is the component of the plant material that is bringing out that result. They isolate that, and then they go about to create it synthetically, artificially. Okay, and so it doesn't have all those other supporting components. Like, when nature was created, it was created in a way that it had all the supporting stuff around it. Okay, so most of these essential oils and plant matters have hundreds of components, supporting components, like that build together like a jigsaw puzzle. So yes, it may have one major active ingredient, but there's all these other support components that make it more accessible to the body and useful to the body. Okay, so the point is that when you look at this bottle, the first thing to look at is the fact that it's got a child-proof cap. So that would make you stop and think that it's pretty serious to keep this in a safe place, up high, out of reach of children. Right? We don't want children swigging back on this. It's not safe to take internally. There are some people out there who may suggest you can take a few drops internally. Don't, right? It's got a child-proof a child-proof lid. On the directions, it says for topical and aromatic use only. Okay? Follow the instructions. Wintergreen is a blood thinner. So if you don't know the medical history of somebody that you're talking to, and you advise them to take wintergreen internally, you can put them into a very dangerous position, especially if they're already on blood thinners like warfarin and that sort of stuff. Okay, so once again, just because it's natural doesn't mean that it's open license and just go for your life and just start sculling this stuff down. Okay, you still got to be sensible, responsible, and follow the directions. Now, what is amazing about wintergreen is what I learned when I was studying my herbalism many years ago, is that wintergreen penetrates deep, and it takes whatever is with it deep as well. Okay, so when you apply it topically, it has the ability to penetrate into those deep muscles that you can't get to just by by massage. Even deep tissue massage isn't just pressing really hard. Okay, so it has that ability. So then we can actually blend other oils with it to bring about a result. So it is great for the temporary relief of pain. So once again, it was a major go-to oil of mine when I was working with sport, and also when I was working in my pain management, injury management practice. It was one of a number of oils I used to put in a blend to help as a nice topical oil. The other thing too is that when you're using essential oils, when you're using them topically, you should always put them into a carrier oil. Now, especially with wintergreen, you should always put it in a carrier oil just to reduce any chance of skin sensitivity. But when it comes to applying topically, because the essential oils, these are aromatic. I mean, these molecules are just so small and light. So that's why we take the lid off and we can smell it because they're just sort of bouncing around. So if you just put an essential oil straight onto the skin, about 90% of it's just going to flash off into the atmosphere and it's going to be lost. And so that's why you should apply it either with a carrier oil or even a balm. But balms are also great because they really sort of lock it in, so to speak. So to get the best use, to get the most out of your essential oils, always apply with a with a carrier oil. And the thing is too is that it is for temporary relief. Okay, this is just to support your tired, sore, aching muscles after physical activity, whether that be sports or work or running after the kids all day, right? Obviously, if pain doesn't go away after a few days, be sensible and go off and see a medical professional, see what's happening there. And so once again, a great one to have for those who are physically active. Now, the other day I spoke about rosemary. So you could actually incorporate a blend with rosemary, wintergreen. Ginger is also great. Ginger was another one that I used, clove, and also frankincense. So that's almost a recipe that that I used, the blend that I used all the time with great effect in my private clinic to just to help alleviate that pain. Okay, cool. So that's it for today. So once again, if you want any free samples, please go to samples.pureessentials.store and request your free sample, and I'll get in contact with you, get that in the mail. And then, but also if you want to talk about, if you want to contact me with some really specific questions, because obviously I can't talk about specifics here, but if you want to contact me with some specific questions, please feel free to message me. You can message me at m.me/Tim Cooper Health. I'll be happy to chat with you, talk about your life, what your desired outcomes may be, and help point you in the right direction there. And once again, if you found this information useful, please like, share, and comment. Right. So any questions at all, please put them in the comments below. Show us some love, and share this information around. Okay. And if there's any oil that you want me to specifically talk about, any questions you may not be quite sure how to use it effectively or safely, please in the comments, and I will do a little short segment on it for you. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you found this useful, and I look forward to sharing more about the wonderful benefits and the support that essential oils and natural remedies can give you. Okay, until next time, you take care.